What's up YouTube? It is Polyglot Hacks, and today we're going to be talking about if you can learn a language with only subtitles. That's right, only subtitles. So let's get right into it. Have you ever seen those videos on YouTube when people are just like, yeah, I learned like 6 languages just by watching Netflix and just by using subtitles? Yeah, so easy. And guess what? I did it in like 3 months. How long did it take you to learn one language? I did the research, and this is what I found. I'm going to present to you some research that I did, and we're going to be looking at 3 scientific studies that are going to show us how much learning that can happen, or if any learning can happen while watching TV shows, which is basically Netflix, using subtitles. Alright, so before we get right into the nitty-gritty stuff, I just want to say, if you enjoy this content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It goes a long way. Alright, so here comes study 1, which is the approach of learning a foreign language by watching TV series by Alker Mehmet. In this study, the process of learning Turkish as a foreign language by watching TV series was analyzed. The study had a sample size of 44 individuals, and they were learning Turkish by watching TV series. 56.81% of these people did not know Turkish, while 29.54% of them knew very little. The content of the TV series was in Turkish, which is the target language. Target language just means the language that you're learning. Subtitles were in their native languages, such as Albanian or Bosnian, and they were added to the TV show while they were watching. Following these procedures that I just mentioned, the participants continued to watch the shows for a period of 1 to 2 years, and they achieved gains in 4 language skills at different levels. Now, before we get into the results of the study, it's important to know how skills are classified for languages. And a common reference point that we use is the Common European Framework Reference. Now, this framework of reference uses the following order from the lowest level to the highest: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. According to the research, on average, the participants had a B1 level for reading, a B1 level for listening, a B1 level for speaking, but an A2 level for writing. Now, to show you what these letters mean, I'm going to show a little presentation slide here so that you can see what it means to be at an A2 level or a B1 level. An A2 level suggests that you can understand frequently used expressions in most intermediate areas such as shopping, family, employment, and that you can describe matters of immediate need in simple terms. The B1 level suggests that you are able to understand points regarding family, work, school, or leisure-related topics, and deal with most travel situations in areas where the language is spoken. So what should you take away from this study? Well, point number 1 is to watch a show in your target language and then keep the subtitles in your native language. Now, eventually with time, you can switch them over to your target language as well, but at first, just keep the subtitles in your native language so that you know what's going on. Point number 2 that I learned from this study is consistency. The fact that these people were going at it for a period of 1 to 2 years, watching a show consistently, is the reason why they gained so much in terms of language skill. And you can do it too, but it does take time. Lastly, the study mentioned that it's very important to find a show that you enjoy. The participants within this study were watching a TV show that they enjoyed, whether they understood it or not. And I think this is a critical, important step that you should consider before choosing a show, because if you choose something that you don't truly enjoy, you might end up not watching it. Now, without further ado, let's move on to study number 2. Study number 2 is extensive viewing of captioned and subtitled TV series, a study of L2 vocabulary learning by adolescents, by Pujadas, Georgia. This study aims at exploring the potential of extensive TV viewing for L2 vocabulary learning, which just means second language, and the effects associated with the language of the on-screen text, L1 or L2, type of instruction, pre-teaching target items or not, and learner's proficiency. A total of 106 secondary school students in grade 8, divided into 4 classes, participated in the study over 1 year, viewing 24 episodes of a TV series under 4 experimental conditions, with each class being assigned to a different treatment. Here are the 4 conditions: captions and pre-teaching, captions and non-pre-teaching, subtitles and pre-teaching, and then subtitles and non-pre-teaching. The important fact to consider is that captions are a transcription of dialogue, while subtitles are a translation. So, for example, if you were learning French, captions would be what the people are saying in French, while subtitles would be translations in your native language of whatever they were saying in French. Results showed that participants learned vocabulary in all 4 conditions, with greater gains in recalling form than in recalling form and meaning. The analysis showed that overall, groups that were pre-taught the target items performed better, independently of the language of the on-screen text. Alright, so what can we learn from this study? Well, if you're watching a crime show, which is in a crime genre, you should find a list of vocabulary related to crime, and you should teach yourself that vocabulary before watching the show. Now, this would significantly help you, according to this study, because they found that when you pre-taught someone, or therefore you taught someone vocabulary before starting to watch something, that significantly helped them improve in recalling and knowing the meaning of that word after. Another thing that you should do is while you're watching the show, you should definitely learn to use Anki, which is an online flashcard app, and that'll help you keep track of words that you don't know that you can search while you're watching the show, and then you can add those words to your vocabulary. And the chances of those words coming up again in the same show, because those words are probably related to the genre, are higher. Alright, so that's what I learned from study number 2. On to study number 3. Study number 3 was foreign grammar acquisition while watching subtitled television programs. And I'm not going to try to pronounce these authors because I'm definitely going to butcher it. The aim of the study was to obtain evidence for the acquisition of grammatical rules in watching subtitled foreign movies. In other words, they were trying to see if you can improve your grammar while watching foreign movies. In Experiment 1, 62 6th graders from a primary school and 47 6th graders from a secondary school volunteered to participate. The participants in Experiment 2 were 94 6th graders from primary schools and 84 6th graders from secondary schools. All were from the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. Experiment 1 examined the acquisition of grammar when no reference is made to an upcoming language test, which is known as incidental learning. Experiment 2 examined intentional learning. In the intentional learning condition, participants were explicitly instructed to draw attention to the foreign language soundtrack and to the endings of the words especially, in order to identify in what way a movie could help in acquiring the grammar of the foreign language. A Dutch-spoken 25-minute cartoon of Lucky Luke was subtitled in Esperanto in accordance with the 6-second rule, that is, a subtitle of the maximum length of 64 letters spread over 2 lines. The results? Presenting the Esperanto rules beforehand improves performance of all participants. When the rules are not presented beforehand, watching the movie does not improve performance. Alright, so what can we learn from study number 3? We learned that you cannot simply acquire grammar just by watching a TV show. Instead, in my opinion, you should find a grammar book, and in that grammar book, you should try to learn one rule of grammar before watching a TV show. Let's just say that, for example, you're learning the future tense in English, and in the future tense in English, you're using the word will, like I will do. Now, if you hear a character in that TV show say I will do, that will reinforce the grammar rule that you learned earlier, and this can be a very effective way for learning grammar. Alright YouTube, those are the 3 studies and this is my video. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Holla at your boy.